What's up guys, welcome to Southern Hike. Today we are doing a video that a lot of y'all have asked me to do and I'm excited to do. This has been an awesome pack and I'm super excited to talk to you about today. This is the Outdoor Vitals Shadowlight backpack. I have been using it officially a year this month and just super impressed how well this pack has done. And just want to go through the pros and cons and decide whether I would actually recommend this pack to someone else. Now first I want to say that I am not affiliated with Outdoor Vitals at all. I've never spoke to anyone there at that company. I bought this pack at the beginning of last year when it released because I thought it was a sweet option at a really affordable price, and honestly it did great this year. So just want to say that this has done really well. I'm super impressed and super excited to share it with you guys, and let's just go ahead and get straight into it. So before we get into this, I want to say that I'm not a through hiker. I am definitely in the weekend warrior list. In the last year, probably done between 400 and 500 miles in this pack, so nothing like a through hiker would. I have had no malfunctions. It honestly almost new. It's probably dirtied a little bit on the side pockets and stuff too, but that's from just tossing the pack around and having dirty arms and sweating and stuff like that. But overall, as long as you keep it clean, the material's done well. So I just want to say that first before we really get into this, that I'm not a through hiker, but this pack has done really well, and I would honestly back it for a through hike if you're considering that. So I basically took it all over the country. Last year we went to Oregon, we did the Smokies. I've done a ton of nights at my local trail. And then I went up to Kentucky, as you've seen later this year. I've taken this pack everywhere over 2021. It's now 2022, but over the last year it did really well, and I got in all different types of terrains, and it's just held up really well. Let's get into the pros first. Now there's a whole podcast they did talking about the material. I know it was like a special material that they used called Robit that they kind of designed specifically for this pack. It honestly does really well. I have roughed this pack a lot, and I'm really good on my packs and all of my gear, but I really, kind of put this pack to the test. I've taken it all different types of terrain. I truthfully think that I have faced a lot of different times where I was going to bump up against brush and stuff, and I was really nervous that after I heard it scratch it that it probably tore into it, and there was no abrasion to it at all. So I've been super impressed with the material, and honestly what they preached about has really showed itself so far in using this pack. So the second thing to talk about as a pro is the comfort. Now I was really worried about in the beginning. If you watch my first video, talk about the heat on the back. As far as if it's not summer, it hasn't been big of an issue. It will get hot on your back, but a lot of packs where it really sits right on your back, that's just something you're going to deal with. And honestly, even with ones that have that bow in it, like the Osprey packs, your back's still just going to sweat. It's just something that comes with wearing these packs if you're doing backpacking. It's not been that big of an issue. Yes, I sweat sometimes when it's really hot or if I've been on the trail a long time, but overall the comfort of it, as far as the straps, as far as the belt loop and everything, it's been honestly super comfortable, and having that low weight and that light frame has worked out really well. Now another pro is, and a lot of people have actually I've seen mention this, is having the double front pockets out of the Lycra material. I know that it's common to have the pocket just going across the whole front on a lot of packs out there, but this one has the split pocket, and it's awesome. It's just a simple pro, but it's awesome just to be able to divide stuff up. I keep certain things on one side and certain things on the other, or if I need to keep a tent like a rain fly in there to kind of dry out, I can separate it from anything else I have on here and let it do its thing on that side. Now just to go along with that, I know that a lot of people talk about this zipper. I will say, as even within my pros right now, that honestly I've had this pack for a year now, like I've been saying, and that I have never used this zipper one time. I've never had a need to use this zipper. So for me, if I was going to pick this pack over again and change something on it, I'd probably say just get rid of the zipper. Don't really need it. But at the same time, if you're considering this pack, I wouldn't let that zipper be something you wouldn't buy it, because it's been really strong. I have packed this pack full of stuff and never felt like I was ever going to fail this zipper. So something to go along also with the pockets I want to say is these side pockets, they preached about how much they loved how big these pockets were. The belt loop pockets are pretty freaking awesome. They have worked really well. I can load tons of stuff in them, keys, wallet, any of the stuff I'm going to use on the trail as far as snacks, and then I have a knife, lighter, things like that I just want to quickly be able to grab to, or like my poop kit and stuff like that. It easily fits in those front belt pockets. Now the other thing to talk about too is that I did add Chicken Tramper's like shoulder pocket. It's worked well, and I don't have it on there right now. I'm using the Peak Design clip right now for my camera, but I've also used their water bottle one on here, and it's worked really well. And that's something that goes straight into the cons I want to talk about, is that I know that they're not big on the putting stuff on your shoulder strap. It's a big thing now to be able to add those features to your pack, and so they don't have any kind of daisy chains or like loops to be able to hook stuff easy, so you have to be a little more careful on what you buy, what's going to work, because I know for me it was hard. I know that Justin UL wanted everybody gets off Etsy for a bottle holder, and there's a lot of companies honestly coming out with them now. It would not work on this one, but the Chicken Tramper one had those different type clips on it, and it worked okay for it. So that's something that is a con for me. It just makes it a little bit harder to hook stuff on the front, especially if you're adding stuff like a Garmin inReach and stuff like that too. I think a Garmin honestly will work on these, but just as far as having different loops about to hook different things, it takes away some of that feature. All right, why I got this pack, why I have the pack turned around this way, I want to go ahead and say that one thing I dealt with personally was kind of annoying more than the other, and this could be a personal issue. The load lifters, I can never get them to do their job right, to be honest. No matter, now it has an adjustment to where they hook on the load lifter. This is the size large, not the tall. I know that Tayson talked a lot about people were buying too many of the tall. I did it based on my torso size. I don't know why, but the load lifters, I never can get them to do their job right. No matter where I sat it on my pack, it would somehow they would still end up loose, and then I could never get them to pull down. Now, like I said, this could be an issue I was dealing with, but I have heard of a couple people having the same issue with the load lifter, so I just want to go ahead and mention that. In the end, it wasn't really a deal breaker for me. I was able to get it adjusted right. It's just a little more frustrated than some other packs I've used. Now, another con, and this con is not a con to me, but I know it's a con to a lot of others, but I feel like they might have already fixed it in their newer packs, so I want to be careful saying this, so I don't know if this is an ongoing issue still, but I know it was a big issue in the beginning, is the squeak with the frame. A lot of people are concerned about that issue. To me, it never really bothered me. I can't hear well anyway, so honestly, it was not a sound that bothered me. But I did notice one thing, that based on how I had my pack loaded, it was whether I'd hear that sound or not. Sometimes the way I loaded my pack, I could hear it squeaking when I'd walk, but then other times it would not bother me at all. I know people that have used like Loco tape and stuff to wrap their frame and kind of minimize it, but I do know it's basically where the frame is here, it rubs on that material, and you can just hear it squeak when you walk, just like that basically. Like I said, it was really based on how I had it packed. Sometimes it'd do it, sometimes it wouldn't. To me, it's not that annoying, but I want to say that I know people get bothered by that sound. It's kind of a big deal to some, because you don't want to hear squeaking things when you're walking on the trail. You know, you're trying to be involved in nature, so it definitely has that. And like I said, I don't know if this has already been fixed, but that was one of the cons to mention. All right, so these are pros and cons, not really pros and cons, but just want to go ahead and mention these things. And one of these is I forgot to mention in my video a year ago, and a lot of people have asked about it, is that this pack is not waterproof. Let me clarify that. It is not waterproof. It's pretty good sealed up. It's water resistant. If you went through a very light shower, I really wouldn't concern yourself, but it's not completely sealed. I can show you right here that there is a hole straight into the pack right here for if you had a water bladder. So it's not gonna set you up to be water sealed, and I just wouldn't trust it for that. So definitely use a pack liner. If you listen right now, I have a pack liner that's in there right now. It's not that big of a deal to me. I just use a pack liner. I've always used a pack liner anyways. It's that double safety. And between the resistant material and then that pack liner, I think you should be set. I really wouldn't worry yourself about that. Now, that might be a big thing to you, but most people don't really worry about it. Like, pack liners just take care of that, and it's honestly just been not that big of an issue to me. So that was just one side note I wanted to mention. And then, like we already talked about before, the zipper is something that definitely, I don't know, I don't see a need for it. I know it was something that they were proud of. To me, it just wasn't really needed. I don't ever use it anyways. I just pack my pack to where I know what I could possibly need while I'm on trail, and I also, when I get to wherever I'm camping at, I'm pulling everything out anyways, so it's not been really that big of a deal. Last but not least, I'm just gonna say, if somebody asked me should they get this pack if they really like it, I'd say yes. It's done really well for me. I'm really proud of it. I will continue to keep on using this pack in the future. And I didn't mention this in the beginning of the video, but this is the 60-liter version. And yes, I would stick with the 60-liter, but that's personal. I just like to carry a lot of extra stuff. And especially since we backpack a lot on our local trail, I carry extra stuff for overnight, so I like having that extra room. And I mean, if you're really wanting to do it as a summer pack, you could definitely easily get away with the 40. But if you're doing a lot of winter backpacking, I would probably suggest going to the 60. Honestly, the 60 just has that extra bit of room, and that's just me personally. Some people like to really cut down on the weight, but you're not really losing much weight difference between these two packs. So yes, I would recommend this pack. Honestly, for the price, I know they say they don't make budget gear, but this pack is super budget friendly. I mean, you can't beat $200 for what you get in here between everything that's on it. And again, all the pockets, I didn't mention this earlier, but even the top pockets are great, and just having all the different pockets, it's just one of those added features for a 2-pound pack. And you know, a lot of 2-pound packs and single-pound packs, you're not gonna have that stuff. So this is honestly, if you're wanting a lighter pack and want to not spend too much money, this is a sweet option for what you get and for the price. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my 1 year update review of this pack. I know that a lot of people asked me that, so I wanted to kind of go through some of these things. I'll continue to use this pack. I've got another pack on the way right now, and I'm super excited to use it over the next year, but trust me, I still will be breaking this one out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment if you have any questions. I'd be glad to answer any more with my experience with this pack. Again, I'm just a guy backpacking. I have no affiliation with them, and I like this pack and I've used it, and I wanted to share it with our community and for anyone else that's checking it out. So make sure to leave any comments if you have any questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this was helpful. Make sure to like it if you did, and guys, we will see you soon.